वर्तन्ते तस्योर्वोर् लोकवृत्तिकरीर्विभोः वैश्यस्तद उद्भवो वारताम् नृणां यः समवर्तयात्. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Viso vartanta tasyor loka vritti karirvibhu vaishyastadutprabhu bhartam nrinam ya samavartayat.
Hare Krishna. Visho Vartamta Tasyorvor Lokaviti Karirivo Vaishyastad Udbhavo Vartam Rinamya Samavartyat. Hare Krishna.
There's nobody. Scroll down. The synonym. Visa mean of living by production and distribution. Avartanta generated. Tasya his gigantic forms. Urvo from the side. Loka vritikari means of livelihood. Vibho of the Lord. Vaishya the mercantile community. Tat there. Udbhava orientation. Varta means of living. Rinam all men of all men. Ya one who. Samarvantayat executed. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The mean of livelihood of all person, namely production of grain and the distribution to the praja, was generated from the side of the Lord's gigantic form. The mercantile men who take charge of such execution are called Vaishya. Purport. May Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Human society means of living is clearly mentioned here as visa, or agriculture, and the business of distributing agricultural products, which involve transport, banking, etc. Industry is an artificial means of livelihood, and large-scale industry especially is the source of all the problems of society. In Bhagavad Gita, also the duties of Vaishya who are all engaged as visa are stated as cow protection, agriculture, and business. We have already discussed that the human being can safely depend on cow and agricultural land for livelihood. The exchange of produce by banking and transportation is a branch of this type of living. The Vaishya are divided into many subsections. Some of them are called Kshetri or landowners. Some are called Krishna or land tiller. Some of them are called Tilavanik or grain raiser. Some are called Gandhavanik or merchant in spices. Some are called Suvarnavanik or merchant in gold and banking. The Brahmanas are the teachers and spiritual masters. The Kshatriya protects the citizens from the hands of thieves and miscreants, and the Vaishya are in charge of production and distribution. The Shudra, the unintelligent class of men who cannot act independently in any of the above mentioned activities, are meant for serving the free higher classes for their livelihood. Formerly, the Brahmana were given all necessities of life by the Kshatriya and Vaishyas because they had no time to spend making a living. The Kshatriya would collect taxes from Vaishya and Sudra Whereas the Brahmana were exempt from paying income tax or land revenue. The system of human society was so nice that there was no political, social, and economic upheavals. The different castes of Varna classification was therefore essential for maintaining a peaceful human society. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadapi Swapadantika Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapadakam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Guru Gajana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vashakritam Cham Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-prestaya Bhutale Smriti Bhakti-vedanta Swami Name Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charini Nirvisesa Sanyavadi Paschachadi Satarini. So we continue reading our very important topic about the universal form, about creation. And in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about the four divisions of human society. The four divisions of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and for spiritual life we have, and we have the four, the Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So this four division of human society, and four orders of life is very important. Why Prabhupada say? Because in the end of the purpose is create a very peaceful society. But what do you mean? And all these different division of human society, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they all came from the gigantic body of the universal form. From the head, we have read before, the Brahmana came and and the Kshatriya came from the arms, and the Vaishya came from the side, and the Sudra came from the feet of Krishna. All four orders of life, or four division of human society are very important. We cannot say the Brahmana is better than the Vaishya, or the Vaishya is better, but the Kshatriya is better than the Vaishya, or the Sudra is less than anybody else. So, like Prabhupada also gave the like we have, we have a body, all part of the bodies are equally important. The head is important, the arms are important, the belly, abdomen, the side part are important, and the legs are important. So, in order, and in in human sapiens, there must be this four division of life. And also, Prabhupada said that the sannyasi, usually, another thing he said, the sannyasi, they came from the head, the vanaprastha, they came from the arm, the grihastha, they came from the waist, and the brahmachari, they came from the legs. That's the four orders of life. And different orders of society and consciousness are conceived according to the qualification. One doesn't automatically become like a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or Vaishya or a Sudra. It's all come according to guna and karma, according to our activities. So the body has different activities. Similarly, the social order and spiritual order has different type of activities in terms of qualification. And the Brahmana or the priestly intellectual, they're considered the intellectual part of the a society. And who are the Kshatriyas? The Kshatriyas, they are considered, they're the warriors in the statement. They are the one who take part in politics. And the Vaishya, especially is called in this verse, is called the businessmen and all the farmers. And usually the Vaishya, Prabhupada says the Vaishya and the Sudras, they're not supposed to take part in politics because, and the main part, people who take part in politics are the Kshatriyas. And also, this age system of human society, they're divided into so many, they're very conducive for both material and spiritual life. Not a human society, human society required all these all the division, because without the division we cannot function properly. And Bhagavad Gita 4:13, it is said, Chaturvaryam Maya Shristam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. This four division of Chaturvaryam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. This is established itself by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it's very important. Without these four varna and ashram, and when the Lord created this universe, this material world, he gave everything that is important for us, for the society to function. So that's why the Lord himself, like here in this verse, is created by the universal form, but also who established it is Krishna. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 4:13, we're going to read what the purport of the of this verse. Okay. It said, but according to the free mode of nature, the work associated within the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I'm the creator of this system, you should know that I'm yet non-doer, being unchangeable. So Krishna is above the four divisions of material nature that he said. Even he is the creator of the system, but still he has nothing to do with this four division. But the Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of him. Everything is sustained by him. And everything of the annihilation rests in him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmana, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called Kshatriya, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called Vaishya, are situated in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna doesn't belong to any of the division because he is not one of the conditioned soul, a section of whom you form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from animal status, the above-mentioned division are created by the Lord for systematic development of Krishna consciousness. So actually, that is very important. Actually, we say, why this this four division for human society are created? They're created, so that they can elevate human being to Krishna consciousness, to being, God conscious, because, even all these four division always exists in society. Like we can see, there's always some intellectual people, and some people are interested, in protecting the countries, and some people are, they like to do business, they like to do agriculture, and some people, they like to serve, they work for all these above mentioned uh, department. So in society, it always exists, but how we, and nowadays, everything is different due to the influence of Kali Yuga, you know, and people doesn't consider, you're Brahmana, you're supposed to take instruction from the Brahmana, or the Kshatriya is supposed to, everybody do whatever they want. Like Prabhupada, unfortunately in India, people are not interested in agricultural, doing farming and agriculture. Everybody want to come to the city and work in big factories instead, and the factories, what are they producing? You have to work hard in producing, like they're not producing, is important in one way, but they're producing a lot of waste, a lot of waste. And in this way, we don't have, like, the environment is being destroyed just by, by the factory, because the factory where they produce a lot of waste, like, like we, like people are producing so many things, and they use this thing for a certain time, and they have to produce again and produce all, especially when one example, one devotee was giving, like they produce a cell phone, the cell phone they produce in big factories, especially in China, and one of the most industrial place, like we always heard that so many things are produced in China. They produce this cheap material. Then, like the cell phone, we cannot use them. We can use them only for a few years, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and after we have to discard this. And all this, where do we discard it? We discard it in the land, and it's just a waste, like, and we don't know what to do with this thing, because the people are very clever. They don't want people to have like long lasting product. They want to keep this product only temporary. Then after that, we have to discard them. Where to discard them? Discard them in the landfill. And these landfills, they don't know where to discard. And this kind of waste of material energy. And also, people are producing so many like things made of plastic nowadays, like fortunately, like, in most nowadays, they're not giving plastic bag or something when you go to the grocery. And all these are thrown, all this practice, they're thrown in the landfill, and they take years and then years just to, to did to what for to become like and they polluted the atmosphere, because take years just to get destroyed, because all these unnecessary things that are producing in the factory, they're all detrimental to society, so at the same time we have to be practical, but actually we have to look for more like environmentally and friendly atmosphere. That's why nowadays, like we have a lot of plastic cup, lot of plastic plates and everything, and people are having alternatives. They have like paper plate, like, you can put in like, you can recycle them. So all these like are produced by society. That's why by factories. That's why Srila Prabhupada says it's all a very detrimental, to society. So the Vaishya, What is business is to do business. And in order to do business, they cultivate the land and they produce all the foods for everybody, all the necessary. They're producing all the food, and they have to sell the product. So there's a bulk product. Then Prabhupada was telling you the purpose. Then they use a mean of transportation. And Prabhupada always wanted to establish a Varnashrama system. So I know it's not, Prabhupada always emphasize on that, but it's not really like and come into effect because the way society is, people have the tendency, about Prabhupada saying this, but with the tendency of particularly toward work determined by mode of nature. Yeah. Such symptoms are according to different mode of nature described in the 18th chapter of the book. A person in Krishna conscience above even Brahmana, also Brahmana quality is supposed to know about Brahman. And also a person of Krishna conscience is transcendent to all division of humans, whether we can say division, community, nation, and species. So the fourth division is very important, even though, being a devotee, being a devotee, we cannot, Prabhupada say, if you have a community of Vaishnava, then we can have a classless society. But to be practical, what do you do? What kind of structure we divide in ISKCON? What will we take into consideration of all about Vanaprastha? And indeed, there was in one article, he said what Prabhupada said about Vanaprastha, in ISKCON society. You see, in the Vedas, any discount have to organize and manage society centered on Varnashrama system, the four social and four spiritual order. And Prabhupada say about the Varnashrama Dharma. Okay, Prabhupada even wanted to, to have a school, to have like a university, just to teach people how to establish Varnashrama, but but in India nowadays, people they're taking like the caste system. But also said the caste system is not part of Varnashrama. Varnashram is according to, is produced by different mode of nature and according to what you're able to do. Some people are always inclined, like to be, to teach other people. Some people are inclined to do business. Some people are inclined to protect the country, to be like, like a politician or protect the country. But there are many point of variance that perhaps critical. There's, okay, in Vedic Vanasa, you were born in working class or Sudra family that has a quality of Brahma, then you should become a Brahman despite your birth. This should be the point where son the high court judge necessarily be himself a judge, or the son of a doctor become a doctor. Social mobility thus is Varnashramadharma. All today's caste system that tend not to be the case, and there are many problems. So in speaking about Varnashrama and speaking of something hardly seen today, even in India. In many Prabhupada books, there are strong statement about about establishing, Varnashrama Dharma. He said, in one place, Prabhupada said, to maintain proper social order and help citizens gradually progress toward the goal of life, namely understanding the principle of Varna Sama Dharma must be accepted. It is that unless human society is regulated by Varna Sama Dharma, it's no better than a bestial society of cat and dogs. That from that what Prabhupada said, in one place. And also Prabhupada mentioned materialistic activities are regulated by institution of Varnasrama Dharma. Without Varnasrama Dharma, materialistic activities constitute animal life. And that is an article on iskonnews.org that I'm reading from. He said, similarly, statement of numerous Prabhupada instruction, Varnasrama Dharma is the only social system described in the Vedas. We should note that Varnasrama Dharma is a broad style organization that incorporates several of the societal system we see today. More about shortly, but according to Vedic direction, if any society is worthy of being called organized, an Indian civilized must be arranged according to the division of Varnashram. It is a scientific system, perfectly arranged and balanced, which has a feature of leading society toward the goal of life, God realization. Within ISKCON society at present, Varnasrama is gradually emerging. We have 4 ashram, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. Celibate student, householder, retiree, and renounced preachers. We do not yet have any clear definition of the 4 Varna. There has been some controversy over the years within our society whether such designations should even apply to Vaishnava, followers of Lord Krishna. We can find statement to the effect that such person are transcendental to external material designation and can act in any capacity according to the need of the moment. I'll briefly discuss the spiritual technicalities of this argument shortly. For now, I would like to continue the discussion of organizational structure of society. Whatever our views on the spiritual relevance of Varnasrama Dharma to Vaishnava and ISKCON, we must consider the fact that it is the only system of societal organization recommended by the Veda. From Bhagavad Gita, we learn that Krishna created this system and therefore eternal. Thus, its application is always relevant in any society. We could even say that any other system or organization, being temporary and unsustainable, will eventually fail. Looking at the society today, we could say we could so that this is one article in the ISKCON news.org, about how ISKCON is really following this Varnasrama system. So Prabhupada, like we in ISKCON, we didn't come to that point of following the four, the 4 division of society, because Prabhupada said in one conversation, if one want to become, like if we all become Vaishnava and devotee of Krishna, we are above all these 4 Varna and 4 ashram. So where we can have like a classless society. So, but it also, Prabhupada also says that we should, is very important, like we read there, a society without these 4 orders, it is a society of animals. So and it's a very vast discussion, and also I would like to Prabhupada write a letter to one devotee. Say, there must be 4 divisions of human society: Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra for spiritual, and In Bhagavad Gita, it is very nice explained who is a Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, who is Vaishya, so Varna. So, and Prabhupada said it is a duty of the Vaishya to take to agricultural and cow protection. That is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 1844. In Bhagavad Gita 1844, it is mentioned that it is a duty of Brahmana. Unfortunately, in India, the Vaishya are not very interested in agriculture and cow protection. So housing can be done if the Vaishya give us free advice of cow protection. Then they themselves. So, uh, so nowadays, there's some people, like they really wanted, to be really like a Vaishya, to cultivate. Recently, there was one devotee who used to live here. He gave up his job and went to India. What is his name? I forgot. My Mataji knows it. He went to India and just bought a big farm there and tried to produce, make organic gardens and have cows and living like a simple life. So there were so many attempts, you know, in ISKCON, like devotees bought, farm places and try to, to cultivate the land and protecting the cows and just live a very simple life, but they have not come to the to the point, there's only few of them are able to do that. And most of the devotees, they are very practical. They have to go to make a living. Some people are very satisfied, by this kind of life, being a Vaishya. And like what the Vaishya duty is called Krishi Goraksha Vaniyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Prabhupada, unfortunately, in India, the Vaishya are not very much interested in agriculture and cow protection. They are more interested in opening factories. So housing can be done if the Vaishya give us free advice for cow protection. Then they themselves are more interested in opening factories than have the cow protection be properly done. If you that's a letter Prabhupada said and wrote to one devotee. And there's so many places also Prabhupada said and what is the duty of a Vaishya? The Vaishya, according to Bhagavad Gita 1844, the duty of a Vaishya is farming, cow protection, and business or natural work. For the Vaishya, for the Sudra, they are labor and service to others. In this way, Srila Prabhupada, he always, Krishna himself, he always tell, what the duties of different class of, of people. So if we just follow whatever Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, then we can live in this society very, peacefully. But unfortunately, this is not going on, and people are really like, now we have all kind of upheaval in our society due to not having this four class of men. Four class of men. Okay, Prabhupada also, he said in one verse, The fervent desire of Vaishya to accumulate wealth is not the same as ordinary material greed because it's purified and tempered by the superior quality mentioned in this verse. So, so why like people, the Vaishya, they have the tendency to do business and to accumulate wealth, Is a faith in Vedic civilization, dedication to charity, freedom from hypocrisy, service to Brahmana, and perpetual desire to acquire money, all the natural qualities of a Vaishnava or of a Vaishya. Prabhupada said in the purport, Atustir Atopachai indicates that a Vaishya is never satisfied with any amount of wealth and always want to accumulate more. On the other hand, he is Dhananista or dedicated to charitable work. That we can see, like in society, like even, those people who was very, the big businessmen like Bill Gates, like in India, yeah, the Tata, the Birla, and all the old businessmen. And they always, like they accumulate so much wealth, by business. Then after that, they give a lot of charity. That's what the businessmen, supposed to do because when they accumulate so much wealth, they're supposed to give charity to help other classes, the lower classes of society, people who are, and to support the Brahmana. The Brahmana actually, they're not supposed to earn a livelihood. They're supposed to be, supported by the Kshatriya and by the Vaishya. So nowadays, even you're a Brahmana, you still have to, go outside and look for a job, in society and earn a living because this the Varnasrama system is not established. Is not established. Prabhupada said, on the other hand, he is a Dhananista or dedicated to charitable work. And a Vaishya is supposed to be a Brahma Sevi, always engaged in assisting the Brahmana. And Adama, free from hypocrisy. This is due to astikyam or complete faith in Vedic way of life and confident that one will be rewarded or punished in the next life for one present activity. The fervent desire of Vaishya to accumulate wealth is not the same as ordinary material greed because it is purified and tempered by superior qualities mentioned in this verse. So, the Vaishya usually, they like to make business and like to make a profit. The more they can sell, the more they can make a profit, and that's what it said in this verse. This is Bhagavatam 11, 17, 18. It said how, the Brahmana, they allow, it is their duty, to accumulate wealth. Like we cannot say, even by making a profit, but, sometimes, nowadays there's a lot of cheating going on. But, like a Vaishya, when he does business, he doesn't say, like this one kasan, there is some hypocrisy there. But according to his varna, according to his, quality, according to his work, he's allowed to do that to make a profit. So there's a vast discussion about, about Vaishya, like, like nowadays, most of the people, they want to do business. Like I know, like when you go, when you go, there's only a few people who are interested, in being a Brahmana, because everybody has to maintain their life. There's so much struggle, like the society is not organized in such a way that people are very peaceful and people has whatever they need. So in order to maintain themselves, to be practical, they have to go out and just engage in any occupation that will help them, live in this society, live in this society. That is unfortunate, like people Prabhupada said, the Brahmana and the protection of cow is not being done nowadays. And that the duty of the Vaishya. Why it's not done? Because people, even people who own a farm, sometimes, they can't maintain the farm. So they have to do other kind of business just to maintain a farm, and people have many cows, but what they're doing now, the Vaishya, they suppose, like the farmers, what are they doing? They're raising all this cow, for the slaughterhouse. So we can see, like one of, and Vaishya, according to Bhagavad Gita, they're supposed to protect the cow. But what are they doing? And they're raising all these cows and just sending them to the slaughterhouse. This is Kali Yuga. This and they're producing a lot of milk, milk by artificial means, by abusing the cow. So everything is topsy-turvy, like Prabhupada said, in society nowadays. So as as much as we should try to follow the four division of full social order, of life. But above this, above a Brahmana, Prabhupada also said, is a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is above a Brahmana, above a Kshatriya, above a Vaishya, above a Sudra. A devotee, he's free from all designation. He doesn't ever say that, oh, he can do any kind of work, because whatever he's doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna, just to please Krishna. So even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, to distribute love of Godhead, and he didn't discriminate who is a Sudra, who is a Vaishya, who is a Brahmana, and he gave he asked everybody just to give love of Godhead to everyone. Like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is born in a Muslim family. He's, according to India, he's supposed to be an outcast, He doesn't belong to, because they're Malaysia, they eat, cow meat and everything. They're supposed to be an outcast. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, make him the Namacharya. Namacharya means, the spiritual master of the holy name. Because when one become a devotee of Krishna, one is above all this varna and ashram, and because Haridas Thakur, he was chanting 300,000 names of Krishna. He was so purified, he had so much love for Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu make him the Namacharya. And Ramananda Rai is supposed to, he's not coming from the high class, and Krishna and Lord Chaitanya accepted him and take instruction from him. So there's so many, people coming from lower caste. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't distinguish. And also he say Naham Brahma, well, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Sudra, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Grihastha, I'm just a servant of the servant and servant of Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Padakama Dāsī Dāsī Anudāsa. So Prabhupada said, when one become a Vaishnava, one doesn't consider all this, then designate himself as one of these. But at the same time, in order to, for society to function properly, there's four varna, four division of life, four division of social order are very important. Anybody has any comment or section That's all I can you know I can talk today about this verse.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for a nice class. About 4 varnas, you explained a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody have to add anything? Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the class. So if a devotee, somebody's trying to cultivate, especially coming from the West, you know, and somebody's a devotee, they don't know the stuff from the beginning of their life, but yet, you know, maybe they went to school, they study business, or, you know, they have the mind to always to think about this activity. What would but now they know about it, but they don't know about it from early in their life. Like, what would be a way which you could, I guess, execute this being a Vaishya, your natural propensity that this body has, you know, in Krishna service, you know? But
Actually, Prabhupada said, you know, this 4 division, or, you know, the 4 social orders, they always, you know, especially these 4 orders alike always exist. There's always some people who are inclined to that. But according to your guna and karma, whatever activities, you know, we can say, oh, he's so inclined to business. So according to the scripture, to the Vedas, those who incline, you know, to do business, like you say, go to school and want to business, they are like the, you know, Vaishya. They're considered in this category. That what, you know. And and if you're more in like intellectual, you like to teach people and everything, you're just a brahmana. And if you like to protect people, you know, like, you know, be a politician or a warrior, or, you know, like, you know, we have all this always exists in society. But nowadays, you know, like people, they're not, you know, like people, you know, like Prabhupada also said, like a Vaishya and a Sudra, they're not supposed to become politicians. But nowadays in society, we have a lot of Vaishya and Sudra who will become politicians. And because they're not acting according to the, you know, to the to the to the karma, to the activities, and that's why there's so much, you know, chaos in society. So, like being a devotee, you know, like, you know, like most of the devotees say, you know, like, you know, like even Prabhupada say, like people who distribute books, you know, because they're trying to do business, they considered like Vaishya. But at the same time, in the devotee is supposed to be above all this designation. I don't know if you want to add anything. That's what I understand from Shira Prabhupada. You know, you act according to your nature. You know, if one, you know, sometimes, you know, we try to put people on the altar and tell them to do, you know, pujari service. You know, this, you know, usually those who are brahmanically inclined, they like to do this service. Some people, they hate doing that. They rather, you know, just do other service, you know. And some people, they don't like, you know, they don't like They don't like to give class. They don't, that's supposed to be Brahmins. They don't like to read the scripture, study the scripture. And some people, they're naturally a very like a like to protect. They like to be like come in politics and and protect society. And some people naturally they like to do agricultural, do business, and some people naturally like to serve the other classes of society. So the classes, the four classes are really there. I have to identify with this being a devotee. So for a devotee, nothing, you're above all these designation. Anything else?
It's a good point that you made, because some people, even like in devotional service, and I guess that's, spiritual master gives some direction there, under the guidance of the spiritual master, whether it's, diksha or shiksha, guru, into a service that is, natural for that particular devotee. I mean, for instance, like you mentioned, like book distribution. It's amazing. Some people just naturally, they love doing it, right? They wake up, they just think, oh, I can't wait to meet people and try to, sell this book to them. And then other people are petrified. They become sick almost, because they just the thought of going out, they really they become really upset. Maybe in the heart they understand philosophically, this is important, but they don't have that ability. Or maybe somebody, like, devotees, like we have like gift stores or something like that, and like some really excited about it. All they think about is, how am I going to organize? Where do I buy? How do I shop? And how do I, and then somebody else may just think, what's the point? What's, this is no big deal. What, they wouldn't want to do that. And like you get, um, I also think, Prabhupada says, every organization, they need like capital, organization, land, it's like, Vaishyas, are responsible in that way for, or, earning money and donating it, making it available for the spreading of the Krishna consciousness movement.
That's the duty of the Vaishya, they suppose, to support. And the Vaishya support the, like Krishna consciousness movement, those who are dedicated all the, the time in that. They're supposed to, help the Brahmana class.
Yeah.
Those who decided, they don't want to make any profit, any money. They just want to serve without any, help the society.
Right. It's funny how, like you were saying, how the Vaishyas and the Sudras shouldn't really get involved in governance, in politics, but yet we see in modern life most of the time the Vaishyas and Sudras are the ones that are found in politics, not so much the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas who are guiding. I think just drawing a connection there, that obviously, like if you make a lot of money and then you want to have influence on how that money is obviously being spent, so there's like an attachment. So I think that's why we see this phenomena in modern day, that those that are actively involved in business, in order to protect their money and to protect their interests and they become involved in politics so that they can increase their money or decide how their money is going to be, how their money is being spent. They don't want their money being taken away and redistributed, or certain tax laws or like that. They want to be able to control that in order to be able to protect the money that they've earned, illegally or illegally. they want to do that. I think maybe that's why we see that happen so much.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, nowadays, like they say that Vaishya is supposed to accumulate wealth, but it's not a greed. But they have to know how to utilize this money, like you said, all the money that they got. That's why like the Kshatriya, they collect tax from the Vaishya. Even in time of Krishna, in Krishna pastime, we can see, like King Kamsa, being a Kshatriya, he was collecting tax from Nanda Maharaj and from the inhabitant of Vrindavan, who were mostly Vaishya. Doing the Vaishya, they were protecting the cow. So they were taking all this, the milk and the produce, and take it to the king there, and also collect tax. Also in the pastime, although Ramachandra also, like, is that Ramachandra? Yeah. Yeah, they're collecting tax from the Vaishyas. And so that's why, like here, even everybody has to pay tax. But when the priests, like, that's why we are non-profit organization, like, they don't have to pay tax. All the, religious society, they're supposed to be the Brahmin, they don't pay tax, isn't it? So, um, the, mostly, the businessmen and the, and the lower class of, society that pay taxes, just to maintain the, the Brahminical culture. And so that is very nice to say, like what Prabhupada book said, they say, what kind of structure do we divide in ISKCON, and the many nice points the devotees, in this article, he said, perhaps for guidance, we should now turn to ISKCON canon or body of literature rather than letters, conversation with Srila Prabhupada. After all the instruction in the letter were often subject to consideration of time, place, and circumstances. For example, the statement quoted above, what organization needs to be done, the temple president can handle, was made in 1972. In the same letter, it was also said that the formula for ISKCON organization is very simple. The world is divided into 12 zones. For each zone, there is one zonal secretary appointed by Srila Prabhupada. However, we have moved on since these instructions are no longer appropriate. ISKCON is already larger and more complex, having more than 12 GBC zonal secretaries. Thus, we need to consider such instruction carefully in terms of current relevance. The instruction written in our scripture are more enduring at the top of epistemological hierarchy. And this is all about Vanaprastha. Indeed, our understanding that the Vedas and Vedic knowledge are eternal. Srila Prabhupada's instruction in his purport to the Vedas have universal application. How to apply them according to time and situation need to be carefully considered. But Vedic scripture give up changing principle. So what instruction about principle of societal organization we can find in scripture? In the Vedas, any discussion on how to organize and manage society centered on Varnasama system, the four social, four spiritual orders. I want the system of Varnasama Dharma. Prabhupada said, from my experience speaking to an Hinduism in school and the writers talking in college, I found that whenever I discuss Vedic society, I always had to begin by addressing the doubt about that Varnasama Dharma means something like present caste system seen in India. The caste system, however, is serious corruption of Varnasrama Yeah. It's been, unfortunately, in India nowadays, the caste system is very prevalent in many places, you know. And I know that the people like, you know, and they really undermine. And I know I've seen one excerpt somewhere. There's one person came from a Vaishya family, from farming, and he went to a high, a very high class school, and there he was telling everybody, and the person was telling everybody, you know, before you start anything, you have to follow the culture, you know, just say Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, and the teacher, you know, objected because he said, you know, why you're influencing everybody to say Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram. And he said, where, and then he brought the student in the class and he asked the student, why are you asking everybody to say Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram? We're not allowed in this school to influence other people. Everybody is allowed to follow their own religion. So you telling everybody Jai Sri Ram is not acceptable. Then he say, who are your family? You should bring your parent. What your parent is? Then my parent is just, you know, do agriculture, is a, you know, do farming. And he said, and the teacher said, is that why, you know, you came from such a lower class, you know, like farmers, farmers, that why, you know, you don't really know what what we teach in this school, and how are you admitted in such school, in such a high, high profile school. And then we brought the parent, and the parent came and he said, why are you encouraging your daughter, you know, to teach people to say Jai Sri Ram? And the father said, you know, this is our culture. We have to tell people, we have to teach people about, our our culture, which culture we came from India, like everybody has to accept Lord Ram, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he say, now I know you and the teacher just undermine the father also. Say, you come from such a low class thing, you don't have any education, anything, because you're just a farmers, in a high profile school, we don't teach people that. Then and one person came and say, start talking. He say, why are you talking to him like that? This farmers, he's not an uneducated person, he's highly educated, you know he's highly educated. That doesn't mean, like if you're farmers, you don't have any intelligence. Only you teachers, you even you're so highly education, you're discriminating, about who is lower class, who is high class. So in this way, like the father came and started very intelligently to the teacher and said, you're not supposed to be a Brahman, you're not supposed to be a teacher, because you're just discriminating who is superior, who is inferior. Actually, everybody, like, why are you undermining the farmers? The farmers, they bring food to you, and if the farmers doesn't exist, you won't even have food on your table. So I thought that was a very nice, um, a very nice example. Like, we should not like think, being a Vaishya, you're just one of the, being a farmer, you're just a lower class of the society.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Okay.
So everybody has his place in society, like, even somebody, even the workers, like, if we don't have the sudras, how thing will be done? Who will assist? We always, in each and every part of the body, like you said, Prabhupada gives example, it's very important. The other day the devotee was giving, if we just take off the legs, then we become useless. If we don't have the arm, we become useless. If we don't have, at the head, then we cannot function. Okay, in that note, if you have any announcement, you can Dronacharya Prabhu.
So only thank you. So Sunday feast is today. We are going to because tomorrow is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. We are going to have a class tonight and also tomorrow on the glories of Lord Nityananda. It's a 2-part class by Archana Bhakti Mataji. So please come. You can learn a lot about a wonderful personality. Is one of Lord Chaitanya's closest associates, a incarnation of Lord Balaram, and he is the personification of mercy, in this age of Kali Yuga. Also knows Super Bowl is today. It's big in Philadelphia because the Philadelphia team is coming, but encourage still all the devotees to please come and hear about the glories of Lord Nityananda and chant the holy names. Tomorrow the program begins. Tomorrow's a fast until noon, and the program will begin in the evening at 6 p.m. This is Monday. Also, next Saturday in the morning, after the morning program from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we have a Sankirtan orientation seminar. It'll be given by Denu Tarpata Prabhu, who is the head of our book distribution team. He's a disciple of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, and he's been trained to do these seminars. And starting in March, we're going to be having these monthly Sankirtan festivals, where we really want a large number of our congregation to go out and team up to be able to do public Sankirtan, chanting the holy names, as well as distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. This will be for our purification as well as for the benefit of the people in general, so they can learn about Krishna consciousness. I know some people, they need a little bit of encouragement and some guidance on how to do this, what to expect. So this seminar is designed, to help people learn how to talk to people, how to approach people. It's really not so bad if we learn some simple techniques. So because it's cold, our monthly Sankirtan festival for February, in honor of Lord Nityananda, will be a seminar form, so we can get ready and prepare. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you very much for being sincere to everyone.
Thank you very much, Mataji.